Pick 'em, clip 'em, and light 'em, boys. Deadwood Tobacco's about to blow some smoke. Hello, everybody, and welcome to DTC Blow and Smoke Podcast. I am your host, Handsome Pierce. We are doing things just a little bit different today. We won't be joined with Billiam today, but we do have Mr. Stash.
Hello.
Back and we have the infamous, the famous, I don't know, I'm horrible at intros, Mayor Dave.
How you doing?
There you go.
That was so amped up. Holy shit. We're going to have to ask Mayor Dave to calm down just a little bit.
Right, exactly.
It's a little excited.
So we are going to do a little encompassing of why we should be coming to Deadwood for the summer season, what we have to offer. Everybody knows that, we do have the gambling, we have the drinking, we have the parties, we have the fun, but we wanted to showcase a little bit more about the area and what we have to offer in the hills. Dave, give me a little bit of background about yourself.
Well, I'm a fifth-generation Deadwood resident. My great-great-grandfather came back in 1876. Lived elsewhere when I was in the service.
Gotcha.
Was in the Army, Korean linguist.
You weren't stationed here?
No, actually out in Fort Ord. It's a college campus now. But came back after for the summer of college, and got a job in gaming, and now that's since '93. So do the math. That's been 29 years that I've worked in gaming in Deadwood. Proud to call this place my home, and want to give back to the community. So,
excellent.
Yeah.
Very nice. So that started your, mission of service to the community? Yeah,
it's always been something that's been a big part in my family. My grandfather was a legislator. My dad was involved in the community, and they instilled in us a sense of community and giving back, and the importance of that. So, it's a natural thing to do. I'm not a guy that sits around and complains. I figure, why not roll up our sleeves and figure out a solution, get things done.
Gotcha. I mean, if you love the place that you love, you're going to do some things to make it better, correct?
Absolutely. Deadwood is in my veins.
Right on. Stash?
No. Yes.
Oh, I don't know. You looked like you were going to say something.
I was, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So since you were in gaming for so long, who controls, there's one of the questions I always get asked in the cigar bar, is this Native American land? Is this? And I said, no, we're controlled just like we are in Vegas, New Jersey, and Deadwood. And I don't know if there's any others. I think there's maybe one more.
There's a few around jurisdictions, they call those.
Right.
Back in '86, there was a giant fire in town that
destroyed the Syndicate building.
Yes. And it, without a makeshift firewall at the saloon number 10, could have taken the entire block. And that made the people in the community realize that we needed to do something to save the history and our community. And so they went to the state and got a statewide initiative on the ballot to allow limited gaming. Mm-hmm. It was the third jurisdiction in the nation behind Nevada and Atlantic City. Others have popped up since, in Colorado and different places. So, people do automatically assume that it's tribal.
Right.
It is not. But everything we do in Deadwood is allowable and authorized for the tribes to do on their reservations here in South Dakota. So.
Okay. Yeah, because, we do, not only do we have the one-armed bandits or the slot machines, we also have mini card tables. We got, the roulette, the craps, the blackjack, and then they do a lot of sponsoring and stuff like that for you guys just had the poker tournament going on in town.
Yeah, we did the South Dakota State Championship. But, poker is what Deadwood was originally known for because, obviously, of Wild Bill Hickok, which brings it full circle to the history.
Correct.
But
do you like that?
I do. Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
all of those revenues.
Should be in that chair more often.
and all of those revenues that we generate through gaming go for the restoration and preservation of Deadwood, and that's what makes it so unique. Mm-hmm. So that when people come to see Deadwood, they may not see dirt roads and boardwalk sidewalks, but they'll actually get to go into some places and feel that authenticity that was the Old West.
Yep.
Now, there was a little bit of a kind of a seesaw back and forth between Lead and Deadwood. When this is the most, prosperous to this is the most prosperous. What's a little history between the two, and why is Deadwood the gaming spot, Lead's the gold spot? Like, give me a little bit of history from around the area.
Okay, Deadwood from, in my lifetime and my generation, Homestake up in Lead was the big place, and it was the economic engine for the Black Hills. The largest underground gold mine Western Hemisphere. Mm-hmm. That's William Randolph Hearst who found that, and it's called Homestake because you could make a stake to create a home, and the mother lode, if you will. It's lead, not lead, because it's a gold
Wait,
term.
did I fuck up? Or
No.
Oh, you're just pointing it out.
I'm putting that out there because a lot of people
Where's lead?
Shit.
see that on a map and they get confused. It's like lead. You mean lead? No, it's lead, like a lead to a gold vein. So,
Yes.
And for the longest time, it, like I said, was the economic engine, and tourism is what Deadwood was known for. People would come to watch a rodeo or do something like that. But then when the mine closed and people started going elsewhere to do their underground hard rock mining, then Deadwood started coming to the forefront with the advent of gaming, and it became the prosperous community. We've always been sister communities as far as the school district is all in
Police
Lead,
departments,
Deadwood,
and all that's tied together pretty much for
some
the
of
most
that-
part.
Some of that
Yeah.
doesn't cross, but they do
No.
help out if need
Yeah.
be. But it's been interesting over the years.
And then, not a lot of people know this, but until the beginning of the '80s, we had legalized prostitution.
Well, it wasn't legal.
I mean,
We'll get that straight. But
forgot to
yes,
throw up the finger quotes on that one.
when you come to Deadwood, there is a museum just down on Main Street that where you can see an actual brothel that was in existence until 1980. It was the feds that came in on a search warrant for a revolver that was floating around and had actually been used by
a certain
group of people that ride motorcycles that I'm not sure how that trial went, but it was used to kill a circuit judge, and that murder weapon had been traced all the way back, and that's what made them come and raid the brothels.
Gotcha. So it was just happenstance that they were just like, no, just keep doing it. They don't fucking care right now.
Yeah, the community, they didn't openly endorse it and embrace it, but they understood because obviously, my husband wouldn't be participating in that, but they're providing a service. They were actually solid members in the community as far as there were certain days of the week that they went to the doctor to get checked out. Everything was clean. They were contributors in the economy because they would shop locally, obviously. Mm-hmm. So it was a big deal when it got shut down in 1980. I remember when the sedans rolled into town and the guys in the brown suits all of a sudden showed up, and it was like, what's going on here? And, as a kid, I knew there was one certain section of Main Street called the Badlands where they all were, but it wasn't flaunted, it wasn't showy, it wasn't out on the streets or anything.
They're not flagging down cars like they are in big cities.
Right. Yeah. They weren't hanging out on the corner or anything like that.
I just lost my train of thought. Stash. Go.
Yeah. Oh, hi.
Yeah.
No. Jeez. All right. So that's a little bit of the brief history of that. And like I said, we live in a unique, they sort of call it the banana belt area. So yes, we get snow. Yes, it gets cold, but overall the weather temperament around here is fairly, consistent. Mm-hmm. We're going to get the snow in the wintertime, but we're not like Lead up here on the hill. The other day I'm sitting at my house and, we got a little dusting and nothing on our cars. You can see the hills all the cars coming down from Lead going down to work or wherever they're going. 6 inches of snow. And I'm like, oh, cool. So, yeah. But it's the climate wise around here, summertime is it's just awesome. It's
beautiful
just
everywhere.
Beautiful. And it's nice. It's got all the good stuff. So, but the Black Hills region, so like the whole area around here, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff to do. I mean, side by sides, we've got tons of hiking trails. We got the what is that trail? The biking trail, the
Mickelson Trail.
McNicholson Trail. Yep. Thank you. That goes from here basically to whatever.
Yeah, McNichols is an arena.
Right.
It's close
Denver.
enough. Whatever.
I feel like Consuela's rubbing off on you a little bit.
Probably. whatever. But so that goes from here almost to Nebraska state line, doesn't it?
It goes
Close
down to
it.
the Southern Hills. It's 318 miles of converted railroads
Holy shit, I didn't know
into
that.
trails. Yeah, it's quite the system, and you've got joggers, you've got biking, you've got hiking, mountain biking. There's no motorized vehicles on that trail, so it's safe. But in the winter, they convert that into
Snowmobile
part of the
trail,
snowmobile
so,
trail network, and people use it year round. It's quite impressive.
Yeah.
And then we're going through Black Hills. Like, my favorite place in the Black Hills, hands down, is Pactola. I don't know why, just the energy there, the vibe there. Every time I go there, I just feel like I'm home. But there's plenty of little kind of stops all around the hills, these little hidden gems. What's one of your favorites?
Well, if you come to the hills, it's really cool to go out to Rochford and go to old Moonshine Gulch.
Yeah.
Yep.
You show up, there'll always be a local out there playing a guitar, just sitting around. It is old-fashioned. It's a little bar in a small little community that used to be thriving and vibrant way back in 1876. In fact, at one point, they had made a decision, the federal government had to decide whether they were going to put the regional post office either in Rochford or Rapid City. They chose Rapid City because it was flatter and it was easier to build. And now Rapid City is the second largest city in South Dakota. So, yeah.
Maybe it has something to do where the post office goes. We'll have to talk to our post guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
No.
it's not. Anyway.
So there's all these little hidden spots. You got Devil's Bathtub. You got Poets. What the
Poets
hell?
Table.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jesus, I am blanking out on
You got
everything today.
The bigger ones, Terry Peak.
Yes.
You can go up Terry Peak. You
Old
can,
Black Elk.
Jesus, my brain is dead.
You
today.
drive
The Butte?
Spearfish Canyon.
Yeah. Crow Peak. Bear
Needles
Butte.
Highway down in the
Needles
Southern
Highway.
Hills,
Yep.
the Custer State Park. You
Yep.
can go see some
Yep.
wildlife, things like that. Of course, everybody wants to come and remembers Mount Rushmore,
Right.
which is impressive, the Shrine of Democracy to see. Now,
Yep.
a little bit further south down in Custer, they're currently building One Crazy Horse Memorial, which is,
Since what, 1971?
it's taken a while because they don't take any federal funding for it. It's all private donations. So,
My dad used to be a town cop in Rapid City, and he will tell the story about how he remembers old what's-his-name walking around with a pickle jar with a piece of paper taped to it and jingle it in front of the bar patrons, and that's how he got his initial start for the investment in the
Donations
hill. Yeah, it's a rich history.
yep.
Yeah, because
absolutely.
not that we have to go into the whole history of that, but he worked for Borglum,
Yep.
didn't like it, chose to do his own thing, do it a different way because of what he saw there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the lineage of that. So that's why it's taken so fucking long.
Yep, but their family's still doing it,
Mm-hmm.
which is impressive. It's gone generational now. So Monique is involved up there, and sadly Ruth passed away a few years ago, Korjak's wife, but still in the family, and they're still plugging along. And actually, they're making a lot more progress than it. When I was a kid, it was white lines painted on the side of a hill.
Yeah, for
And
years and
and
years and years.
everybody joked that the Dunbar was going to get done by Costner up in Deadwood way before Crazy Horse, but I think Crazy Horse is going to win on
Yeah,
that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
might win now.
Yeah.
Pretty much put money on that one.
Yep, exactly.
Now, I think everybody's heard of this little thing that happened a couple of years ago. There was like a mild pandemic or whatever happened. And then Deadwood became kind of this weird metropolis where everybody in the fucking world wanted to go.
Right. Yeah.
So I remember, I was working at a restaurant downtown, and I literally did not see a South Dakota license plate unless it was shift change.
Right.
If people were coming and going to work, that was the thing. That's the only time you'd see South Dakota plates. Otherwise, it was just all over. And then you'd hear people saying, well, Vegas is closed, so we went to Deadwood. And I remember going, what the fuck?
Spearfish
All right.
Airport. That little itty bitty airport up there looked like O'Hare. There was more private jets, and I've never seen. They were parking them on the off ramp on the side right there because they had so many jets coming in from the whales, and everybody wanted to come up that couldn't gamble in Atlantic City, and there they were all flying into Spearfish to gamble, and I'm like, oh, okay,
insane. Now, obviously, that helped our little town prosper a little bit.
Right.
And then it kind of carried on for a couple of years. What are we expecting this summer? like I know the borders are back open for Canada, and that's been our big influx of travelers over the years, and they haven't been able to really get out in the last couple of years. I've noticed a lot of them in the area in the last couple of weeks, which is phenomenal to see. Love to see our northern brothers come down and hang out. But what are you seeing behind the scenes? Like, how's everything going? You know, the bookings, the gambling, how's everything looking on the home front?
Everything looks really solid. Like you said, when it came to gaming, like it, love it, agree with it, disagree with it, we were the last jurisdiction to close, first jurisdiction to reopen. Right. And that caused a lot of people to come, like you said, and because of that, it became a spot on everyone's radar. That hasn't gone away, nor will it go away. No. People have come for the first time over the last 2 years and saw the hills and the beauty of the Black Hills and how you can do things other than walk up and down the street and drop money into a machine. So as far as 2021, it was the biggest year in the history of Deadwood gaming as far as revenues go and taxes collected and amounts of money wagered. But so we're seeing a little bit of a downturn right now, not a whole lot. It's still outperforming some other jurisdictions based on their comparables, but you've got to expect that having a record year, and you're going to come into that. But as far as what's coming up this summer, it's going to be insane.
It's going to be nuts.
It hasn't slowed down at all. Price of houses are going through the roof, and people are coming here. And
don't mention houses. That's a sore subject for somebody over here.
All good.
But no, it's we're happy for the visitation. We're a town of 1,200. Deadwood is, but we have over 2.5 million visitors a year, and the way things were trajectorying last year.
Is that a word?
Trajectorying?
I guess. Past what?
It's strategery was a word for a while there. So
I'm like
trajecting. How's that?
Trajecting.
As things were trajecting that way.
I like that.
It looked as if
roll with it.
we were going to punch through 2.5 and get close to 3 million visitors. So, you consider a town of 1,200, and we entertain that many people.
It's kind of like the fucking good old days, man. How big did the population swell back in 1876?
1876, the population of Deadwood was 25,000 people.
Yeah. Where the fuck would you put them?
If you've ever been to Deadwood, you will be just absolutely mind-blown to think about 25,000 people in Deadwood. But they're stacked all over each other. But, we're built in a gulch, and so right now, in our heyday, we probably got to about 2,200 in my generation as far as, people that were commuting. But we also have 94% of our workforce that commutes in. So it's a little catch-22 because housing's not all that great. But we're not here to talk about politics.
No.
We're here to talk about events and what's going on in Deadwood. So,
fucking rolling, man.
Yeah,
you got one in the dirt.
You got to keep that right in between the tracks. You don't want to go off the rails.
No.
Like podcast number 7 or 8. Was it 8 or 7?
9.
9 was off the rails.
No, 9 blew up in the station before it even left.
Yeah,
right on.
It just
literally
did not
exploded.
Get any better.
This is the history and events podcast, the number 10.
The number 10.
Yeah.
We wanted to save you for number 10 because we figured you were the most important person in Deadwood, so we had to have like a great guest and a famous guest, and that's why we got Randy coming on later. But you were going to do for the first seat, kind of get everything warmed up, so Mr. Randy can get his popularity on when he gets in the chair.
Right. I've got to keep things factual.
Right. So other things to do in Deadwood besides we already discussed walking up down the streets and pulling handles. We have a lot of different museums around. A lot of them are donation only.
Right.
So, the cemetery up there, you can go walk up there, walk in about 250 feet or so.
Which is a pretty rad cemetery, which is a weird thing to say, but it's pretty fucking interesting.
It's if you like morbid stuff like my wife does, then you definitely will love the cemetery. Yeah. So, Wild Bill, Calamity Jane, Potato Creek Johnny are all buried together. Preacher Smith's just a little bit down the way, and then you got to hike up the damn hill about another 700 feet to go see Seth Bullock, his wife, and the unknown gentleman they put back in the ground when they dug up a retaining wall and found him. So,
So, did not know about that one.
Yeah, a few years ago there was a house down in the neighborhood that started doing a retaining wall project, and
they ran across somebody.
Yeah, backhoe scraped across a wooden coffin, and lo and behold,
Gotcha.
they Turns out back in the day when they moved cemeteries, they moved headstones. Sometimes that was all they did.
Right. We figured that out.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why everybody thinks that every building and every property in Deadwood is haunted.
Right.
So, and you can go to some ghost tours in Deadwood if that's what you want to do, other than gaming as well.
Yep. So.
Now, I just want to touch on one last thing before we get into the events, but I'm a huge architecture guy. Everybody knows I don't party, I don't drink, I don't really hang out, but the one thing that I love about Deadwood is everything looks so period specific and just beautified. It's like no town that I've ever been in before. What's the reasoning behind that, or what helped that out?
Well, the period of significance for Deadwood is Victorian, so you're not going to come and see old wooden, A-frames and things of that nature. But what really helps us keep that is the gaming revenues. They go through historic preservation. So there are, for the homeowners in town, there are a lot of programs that allow you to get low interest, no interest grants, for different things that allow you to beautify the exterior of your home. Mm-hmm. They're not going to tell you what color you have to paint it, but it really does give resources to the community so that we can preserve and protect our national historic landmark status, which the entire town has.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Is that one of the only ones? I mean, I don't know anything about it, but that's got to be pretty rare in the country?
Yeah, it's rare. I couldn't tell you how many there are in total, but
not very many.
I think it's less than 10 that are actually, and I know that Ethan's going to check that out online and put that up on the podcast.
Yeah, he's just going to put a big blinker on there.
He's going to be like,
wrong, 11, bitch.
That's right.
Put the big X through you.
Yeah.
But no, it is a pretty thing. And I do live in a historic house in town, so it is a great program they got. It's, they give you grants. You get some zero or low interest loans to repair the exterior house and do a lot of work to it. I had to redo my upper porch when I moved in. Basically, I did the work, but it was, I basically had to go down and get a building permit and do it. They came out, checked it, said, looks good, we like it, and got all my money back. So, there is bennies to living in a historic town. So
yeah, absolutely.
And it's just fun. I can sit on my porch and watch the traffic go by and yell at people to get off the Deadwood sign across the street and, fun stuff like that.
Get off of my lawn.
No, they can't get to my lawn or I'll shoot them because they got to actually walk up my steps and there's going to be a problem. So.
Yeah, because they're not scaling that wall.
No, they're not.
No. There's
34
steps.
34, calm down.
Let's dex you.
All right, if you're going to the attic, then you're probably right. It's closer to 48 to my cigar lounge up in the attic. But anyway.
Fuck. So what events do we have still to look forward to this summer and into the fall there?
I was looking at that this morning as I was trying to prepare for the curveballs you're going to throw at me and figure out exactly how to bring it. But just about every weekend, starting this weekend, there's something going on. You don't want to be too specific because when people watch this, in perpetuity, they'll go, oh, well, when should I come to Deadwood? Well, specific dates. But
that's all right. He's got the dates up there. We're good.
Father's Day weekend is always Wild Bill Days, so that's a big one. Families can come and watch the Dock Dogs. They can see some country music free on Main Street. We roll in the 4th of July, some really good stuff. Of course, the biggest
and
one
that would be July 4th?
Yes,
okay.
That's on Independence Day.
Yes.
We always have a parade and things of that nature. Come up to Lead and watch the fireworks every year over the open cut. But the big one this summer is the one that we're really gearing up for and getting proud of is this year is the 100th anniversary of the celebration of the Days of 76, which is really big. It's a rodeo in July. It's actually the only rodeo that is in the PRCA Hall of Fame. Has won the best small outdoor, best medium outdoor, and best large outdoor rodeo as voted by the Cowboys.
Nice.
So it's quite an accomplishment. It's a beautiful setting. It's down at our Days of 76 event complex. But that's 5 PRCA events, and it goes all week long. And really what it was is it started as a way to keep Deadwood's history alive. There's a parade on Friday and Saturday, and those parades actually chronicle the history of Deadwood. Starts at the beginning, goes all the way up to modern times. So you get to see reenactors that are lookalikes of Preacher Smith and Custer and and all the way down the line. And so we're really proud of that. It's one that we're bringing. We've invited all of the tribes, the Native American tribes, the Lakota, Dakota, Nakota, to come and participate this year because they've always been participants in the past. And it's something that we're really proud of, to also allow people that come to watch that as tourists see what Native culture looks like, and they have the opportunity to learn and get up close and personal and see it.
Very nice. I was going to be a reenactor, that one famous cowboy with the TIE fighter tattooed on his neck.
That one.
I couldn't get the right outfit off the interweb, so I didn't. But I'm still looking forward to maybe doing that sometime in the future. What other events do we have? Fighters stuck up.
After we get through the days, of course, everybody knows the rally.
Yep.
They come and want to go to Sturgis, and that's 11 miles from here. But Deadwood has its own flavor, and people come and stay, and
it's pretty much within a 150-mile radius of the damn town.
Oh, absolutely.
It is the entire Black Hills.
If you love a motorcycle and you've never been, there's something wrong with you. You don't really love your motorcycle, then, do you? But,
ooh, that's a challenge, bitches. Get here.
That's right.
Yeah.
But after that, then Deadwood has a classic car show in August.
Last weekend of August. It's
cool
about
Deadwood nights,
do a week. We rally. We basically got a week and a half off, and then it's cool Deadwood nights.
Yep,
so.
and that one's a lot of fun for those that are stuck in the American Graffiti days.
Yes.
Back in the nostalgia. A lot of boomers driving their Bel Air because that was the first car they had, or a muscle car. But it's really cool to see, and a good time. And then we roll into Labor Day weekend. Then we have the Deadwood Jam, and then the snow starts to fly. But we have Oktoberfest and Dead Weird, and it just keeps going. And you're like, Dead Weird, what's that? Well, that's one of the biggest costume contests.
Costume contests.
And it's
there are some
interesting.
really, really, creative fucking people that do that.
Oh, they live for it, and they come from all over the country to compete. It's crazy.
Crazy.
Yep.
Now, if you've never been to that, that's
Dead Weird
phenomenal.
Dead Weird is a fun time to be out here.
It's one of my favorite ones to work, to go to anything. Yeah. Excellent. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that you come on and let us know all the events coming up. You'd be able to come back on before and let us razz you a little bit more.
Oh yeah, I'll come back anytime.
Yeah. Good.
Right on. Right. Well, thank you, everybody. This is Mayor Dave. Mayor Dave, this is everybody, and we will see you soon.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks, man.
We made it.
Yeah. Hey, perfect. It's on the other side now. Anyways, we are back. Not that we really went anywhere. To you.
This is great. This is a really tight ship.
It really is.
I appreciate the professionalism is top notch.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Torpedoes coming right at the ship right now. You're screwed.
Anybody that's been into the shop and knows our sense of humor knows that this is exactly the fucking way we are all the time.
We want to put a Facebook live thing up and run it. We'd probably get kicked off.
While you're doing that?
Well, me and him at the counter.
Just
when
the
we're
camera.
rolling
Just the camera
side,
at us talking shit.
I thought you were talking about what we were just talking about. That would be bad.
Oh, no.
That would be horrible.
Not gay porn.
No,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
no.
Perfect.
That's a different episode. That's episode 69, I think it is, or something like that.
Pretty sure it's 99.
Yeah,
It's
so,
all right.
whatever. One of those.
Yep. Just minor descriptions. That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Wonderful. I'm so happy to be here.
we've got Randy here with us. Oh, fuck. Say hi, Randy.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Oh, man. Randy, what do you think the number one reason to come to Deadwood is?
There's so many reasons. Obviously the number one answer is always going to be the gaming, but that's, kind of how I learned about it. I moved to Rapid City when I was still a kid. My dad was in the Air Force, retired out of Ellsworth. So my first introduction was when I became old enough to come gamble. We would obviously come up to Deadwood and play some games and stuff like that. But now that I've lived here for over a decade, I can tell you there's a whole lot more. And I know Dave covered it earlier today, and it's, all true about the culture, the history. Some things he didn't touch on is just such a wonderful, warm town. How it's a town of very few people in general.
Which is really weird. You'd think the mayor would say something like that while he was on.
He would.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah. So I'd like to announce formally that I'll be running for mayor of
Mayor?
I could not take the ass kicking that I would receive.
Right. From Dave himself.
Dave, put down the ashtray. Don't throw it.
Don't be throwing shit.
Yeah, pretty
We're
much.
all adults here, kind of.
Not really, but anyway.
So the history, you moved to Rapid when you were young. How young were you? I mean, like,
I was still in high school, and I graduated, went to USD across the state, and then bounced around and ended up back in the hills because, it's got a certain pull to it and a lot of opportunity here, and have made my way in the last 20 years in the hills. And now my wife and I own a business on Main Street, and we participate in everything we can in the community, and just happy to be someone doing their part.
right on. What's a little bit of your background back in the day? You were on the radio. You did.
Yeah, my history was I was in radio for years and years and years. Did a morning show, and I did some production and a bunch of other stuff like that. And then got out of radio and got into freelance event management, concert promotion, things of that nature. And then, like I said, we just recently bought a bar, so that takes up a lot of my time too.
Right. So you're kind of centripetal. Center part of getting some of the bands hooked up. Is that because of the past, or is that just another niche that you kind of picked up along the way?
Well, actually, it was last year was the first year that we had a series called Deadwood Live with a promoter out of Nashville who has a long history as an agent for a number of pretty famous country bands and other bands, and has roots here in the community, and wanted to do something special because we have a great facility that our community got together to build in conjunction with a number of different funding sources, the Outlaw Square, which is right at 703 Main, right on Main Street.
And that got finished in 2019?
2020 is when it was finished.
Okay.
Yep. And it was under construction for a while, as it takes some time, and it's beautiful. If you haven't been up here in the wintertime, they've got an ice skating rink. In the summertime, they've got artificial turf, and they host literally hundreds of events. Everything from raptor demonstrations with the Raptor Center out of the hills to movie nights for families on Mondays to live music that is free every Wednesday in the summer. And of course, we are happy to be a part of that with the Deadwood Live concert series that is independently promoted, but we do utilize the venue of the Outlaw Square.
Right on. You go to a lot of concerts, don't you, Stash?
Yeah. I went to all of them last year. I'll probably be making most of them this year. So it's a more intimate event, right? It's not a stadium of 50,000. It's you can put 2,500-ish.
A complete sellout would be about 3,500.
Okay, so standing room. There's 2 casinos on either side that have tables out there, so you can sit out there. You can go to the veranda. There's outside the venue right there, and then all around. It's literally right in town.
Gotcha.
And it took so long to build, partially because
Didn't they find some shit?
anything you do in Deadwood
it was an excavation.
requires an excavation. Well, they've already been over it a little bit, but they knew there was some other stuff under there, so they had to go under and excavate. They found a boiler, I think it was, out of the old city hall or whatever was used to be there a long time ago. It was what it is now is what it was originally when it first had a gazebo and a little town square, basically. So it's sort of back where it was. The city hall was built later on, then burned down. And
didn't they have the gallows there? Am I kind of mistaken in that, or is that's right around that area?
I can't remember. I think that's over at the other one.
Okay.
The one that's there now, down the block.
Right.
There, next block over is where the gallows actually
That's
were.
where all the well-hung gentlemen hung out.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So, anyways, what's your favorite part of the hills? I mean, Deadwood, obviously a great place to come, but if people are coming to the area, my big thing is, there's so much that this area has to offer. What's one of your favorite places to go?
Well, I'm a fisherman, fly fisherman. Learned how to do that with my father, and so there's a lot of opportunity for that. A number of the little streams we have around here and things of that nature. Tons of hiking and biking. People don't really realize until they get here the number of outdoor activities that we have that are easily available and accessible from almost every town in the hills. Yes. And many of them are joined by these trails and other things like that. Whether you want to do something, people powered like biking, or if you want to take, look at that, beautiful. Yeah. There's a great example. Yeah. Or you want to take your,
those things right
your
there.
ATVs.
Well, thanks, Randy. It's been time talking to you. We got it covered with the rest of the show. We're out.
All right, love you. Thank you.
Beautiful pictures. So, I mean, just kind of going through up there, we got Deadwood, Devil's Tower, Sylvan Lake.
Technically in Wyoming, Devil's Tower, but that's okay.
I mean, it's around the area.
It is 45 minutes.
We love our friends that are a little bit to the west.
Oh, yeah.
Cathedral Spires, Spearfish Canyon, Badlands, Bear Butte, the beautiful Bear Butte, and Pactola Reservoir. Actually know of a guy that was on a radio station back in the day that did kind of a War of the Worlds thing, and told everybody that Bear Butte was erupting, and it caused a little bit of a chaos around the area. And no shit, this is back in the 70s, and he got fired 3 times for it.
Nice.
But that's such a great story. Oh man,
that's awesome. And Devil's Tower, of course.
Right.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Also
Aliens.
visit breweries and hiking and cycling and camping and wildlife and casinos, caves, monuments, and museums.
That was very natural and
you.
not at
Yeah.
all
Thank you.
red. Speaking of the breweries, you don't skip over the breweries that fast.
No.
For a community, and I'm talking about the hills in general, our size, let's say 180,000, whatever it is, with all little towns, we have so many really good breweries that have popped up over the last 10 years.
Tons of them.
And that do really good product and have a real synergy. They work together on a lot of events. One of those is coming to the Square. I just was approached by some fine folks in the Shriners for the 1/2K beer run.
Oh, nice.
That's right, 1/2K.
Yes.
Just 0.5 kilometers.
Yes.
But in Deadwood, you can go 0.5 kilometers and hit 9 bars.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that's a legit run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's one of my favorite things, actually, having a bar that we can cater to the audience that enjoys really good craft beer and the number of locals who contribute to that lifestyle.
And craft beer is a big thing around the area. I mean, off the top of your head, how many breweries do we have around the area?
I think we're in the neighborhood of 12 to 14 right now.
Okay.
Some of them don't distribute. They just serve their own product. They're relatively new, which is wonderful that they can get their patrons to come in. But in that neighborhood, that just locally.
Okay.
Yep. Lots of good beer places.
Lots of good beer places, and usually they have really good fucking pizza.
That is true.
Yeah.
Ah, mashed potato pizza. Dude, it's the bomb. I don't care what anybody says. If you have a chance to try mashed potato pizza.
Next time you should eat before you record a podcast.
Yeah,
Even better.
That's probably legit. So the summer concert series, give us a little bit of a rundown of what we can expect and who's coming by and who's going to entertain the masses this year.
Well, as of this airing, we're celebrating because we just finished our kickoff weekend. Not that is the highlight, but it certainly is fun to start off large, and we felt we did that, and we're very happy with our community for coming out and supporting. But it's not over. We've got a ton of stuff still to come. We've got Chris Young. Coming up is our next one. That's July 3rd. It happens to be a Sunday, but obviously with the 4th being on a Monday, everyone's got some time off. We can enjoy the parade next day that goes downtown. And then the next weekend, we're very proud. And actually, Stash referenced this earlier about the size of the venue that we have, that we are able to get the #1 active rock band in the world right now, Shinedown, for 2 shows.
Very nice.
And if you were to go online and look at where they're playing and things like that, they're playing 10,
Stadiums,
12,
yeah.
18,000 seat arenas.
Yep.
And you get to see that band that just had their record-breaking 18th #1 active rock song in Deadwood with 3,000 of your closest friends. 2 nights back-to-back, as a matter of fact, in the second week of July.
Very nice. And there's still tickets available. Some of them, I'm guessing.
Yep, absolutely. We have tickets available, different tiers depending on what type of experience you're looking for. Some of them are on sister properties who border the Outlaw Square, and they have different amenities than others that we can offer. There's also a GA standing. So if you want to just be in the crowd and have a good time, that's going to be a reasonable price ticket. And then if you want to be right up front with them, well, that's the premium, just a little bit more money, but absolutely worth it to see one of the best bands in rock today with just a few thousand people.
And then these are kind of spread from Thursdays to Sundays, I'm guessing. I'm not sure of the actual.
Yeah, we try to do mostly weekends, and we try to put them on weekends where we think the most people would be available. So that's why we have country artist Chris Young on July 3rd, Shinedown the following week. And then we take a little bit of a break because, as Dave said earlier, we've got a number of events in town, and we would not want to interfere or compete with all of the heritage events. Wild Bill Days, Days of 76, things like that. Right. We don't do another show until August 4th, which is the Thursday before the Sturgis Rally starts.
Excellent.
And then we wrap up our season with Black Hill's favorite, another country band, Gary Allen, is coming back on September 2nd for Labor Day weekend to wrap up our particular season this year.
Right on. And they can find these tickets where?
Deadwoodlive.com. We'll get you hooked up. You've got all kinds of different options for what you're looking for in there. And deadwoodlive.com on all the socials, and then, of course, the web, and they'll get you hooked up.
Gotcha. And the only prerequisite of that we ask is that you come down to Deadwood Tobacco, have a couple of sticks, have a couple of beers, get loosened up before the concert, before you go downtown, and then you can really just take on the whole experience while you smell like cigars, like you're living in the Wild West.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
And one thing that Dave didn't get a chance to mention is that we, as a community, and our city commission and our planners have come up with an open container policy on limited basis. Okay. So there are certain events, St. Patrick's Day, Dead Weird, things like that, including these concert series where open container is allowed in specifically designed cups that are approved by the city. So you can go into your favorite casino or bar, get yourself a glass of wine or a beer in that cup, maybe you just want to wander somewhere else. You can go right down the main street, check out the next place, maybe go to a concert, maybe go get yourself some dinner somewhere else. Just a nice amenity for those visiting our town that you don't feel like you have to stay in one place forever.
Right.
And encourages them to wander and check out many different venues.
Yes. And all those, or not all those events, but most of those events, Friday, Saturday nights, we do our own blues. So, I mean, there's always something going around town. If the concerts downtown aren't your flavor, we've got blues every Friday, Saturday night from 8 o'clock until midnight when we close down at the bar. Shameless plug right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that is absolutely, it is absolutely.
It is our podcast, so I guess we can do it.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's not shameless if you own it. It's you guys. And,
I mean, I only own the board, but that's all right.
Yeah. And Brandon added a sax player now.
Yeah.
He did,
Which is new this summer. And it's been a lot of fun.
Yep.
It is a real amount of fun with the sax player. I won't do my analogy that I have for the Brandon Sprague band. Someday I will. I mean, I'll do this for you guys off the air. We love it. We love it all the time.
Yeah.
But there's lots of different opportunities. Like you said, there's you can go to concerts, you can go get something to eat, you can stop by and get a steak, you can go throw $5 in a fucking machine, and then do it all over again if you wanted to.
Absolutely.
Over and over and over again. This is why Saturday morning between 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock, I got the locals coming in to get their one cigar or two cigars because they know they can get in then.
Right.
Because what happens, everybody crawls out of whatever fucking hole they died in Friday night and start finally moseying around. So it is an interesting town on a weekend. So.
Right. And the open container thing is kind of nice because you always get the questions. We're not fucking Vegas. You can't just carry your beer anywhere you want to. But for those special events, they do coordinate that so you can have a beer on the street. And also, you're in the middle of Deadwood. It's the Wild West, baby. Grab your stick and you can smoke it on the fucking road.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the summer opportunities. What's a summer opportunity?
What?
What's a summer opportunity?
Just stuff to do.
Oh, what's stuff to do? What stuff do you do during the summer opportunities?
I take every opportunity to do stuff during the summer.
That's very nice.
Is that circular enough for
Everybody
you?
should do stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's no limit of opportunities, and I know Dave covered a lot of that earlier.
Right.
But we're a town where our Chamber of Commerce and many other entities get together and just come up with parties. If there's no real reason for a party, well, by God, we're going to come up with one. And it's not always about alcohol and gambling. There are lots of opportunities for family events and things like that as well in our town.
Right.
And they do a really good job spreading it out and making sure that there's a place for everyone to have a good time and enjoy our history and our hospitality.
Well, and it seems like not only through the summer, but through the winter as well. They have, these not sporadic, obviously they're planned, but they have these events, once a month, twice a month, just to kind of keep the town vital and busy and have people keep pumping into town. That was really loud.
Yeah. Snowmobilers, I mean, they come in, you've got what are those fat bike, moon bikes, whatever they call them, that can ride the
And then we have the
trail.
Three-wheeler.
Yeah,
three-wheeler
rally and things like that. And things like that event in particular and the Deadwood Live Concert Series, I believe, were started because of all of the successful events that are heritage events like Days of 76, Cool Deadwood Nights. Other people see opportunities in our town because of, like Dave said, 2.5 million visitors plus every year.
Right.
This year, for example, there are going to be monster trucks down at the Days of 76 event complex
Fucking rad.
over the 4th of July weekend for the first time
Gravedigger
ever.
gonna be there?
I don't know if Gravedigger.
Exactly.
Yes.
But there's going to be tons of stuff like that. And there's a rodeo that just wrapped up called Back When They Bucked, in addition to the great one, the Days of 76 rodeo. So there's just unlimited opportunities. And if you're not a big crowd person and you don't want to be around, lots and lots of people, if you want something a little bit more mellow, well, there are plenty of weekends in the summer where you can just enjoy the hospitality and the history of our town. Check out, like you said earlier, some of our museums, check out our city parks, check out the nature trails, and enjoy that aspect of the Black Hills.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's funny. Like I live down in Sturgis, and that's like the rally epicenter of the world. I mean, there's the Corvette rally, there's Camaro rally, there's the bike rally, there's the HHR rally, there's a Cushman rally. Fuck, that's awesome. Every third year, there's the Cannonball Run. But the best thing about Deadwood is, Sturgis is the place where you kind of coordinate and you get together and you show off your shit. And then you go out and enjoy the hills. Not that Sturgis isn't enjoyable, but there's so many different places around the hills that you can go through. And seeing Cannonball is one of my favorite. It's 1929 motorcycles and below. So anything made before 1929. And those guys, Oh my God! You see so many. I don't know. I'm just a nerd for old shit, but
Sure.
You see all these guys, and they've got a van behind them, but they're riding this 1929 beast across America, and it breaks down going up the hill because the altitude change, and they change it. But I love to see all the energy come into town from all these little offshoots that are around the area.
Sure, yeah, and since we're plugging stuff, shout out to Jason Sims, who is the owner of the Motorcycle Cannonball, and that event is wonderful, and they make a habit to visit the hills as often as they can, and we hope to see them back really, really soon.
Yeah, I think it's got to be verging on 3 years.
Yep, got to be.
Yeah. Anything else that you can kind of think of that's going on this summer that we haven't mentioned yet?
Yes, a new home for DTC. I'm sure you've covered that before.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, once or twice.
That was off the rails. That was the last. Go ahead and go back and reference that, and then stop at like minute 45. And then just
fill it in
just
and then
don't.
bring it back.
Just keep going and keep going and keep going. But your shop is one of the many other reasons that we haven't really talked about. You know, you talked about all these big events. At least I have things like that. But if you go up and down town, our main street, sure, you've got your restaurants and your ice cream parlors and your T-shirt shops and things like that are wonderful for people to collect memories and souvenirs.
Do we have T-shirt shops in town?
No, I am two.
Two. Okay,
maybe
yeah,
max.
Two, right.
But then there's places like your place,
Yes.
you know, which is one of three.
Not my place.
Well, sorry.
I mean,
yeah,
somebody's
yeah.
place. I just act like I own it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We all own it because everybody asks us. They don't ask
exactly.
Bill.
Yeah, right.
You
It's
the owner?
short guy.
No.
Yeah. Next time someone asks me when I'm enjoying myself, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just gonna pretend.
Just roll with it.
Yep.
You'll probably be fine.
But you've got your place, one of three, where you can have a cigar. 3 bars in the state,
South Dakota, yeah.
where you
Yep.
can have a cigar and a beer and enjoy yourself. We've got a world-class painter, Scott Jacobs, who has a gallery. We've got nice little wine bars where you can get a charcuterie board and some stuff like that. And we've got a very wide repertoire, if you were, about things that you can do and see in Deadwood. It's not always the same thing. You know, it's not always a cheeseburger and a beer, although I love a cheeseburger and a beer. Look at me.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But we've got some specialty items that you wouldn't think of in a town of 1,200 people.
Correct. Yeah, it is. It's very well catered to the people coming in, but also very well catered to the people that live here and take care of the residents all the same. I'm really excited for the summer events to kick off and the summer money to come over and the summer people that you see every year come back and say hi and try to remind yourself who the fuck this person is sitting in front of you, even though you really know, but you don't know, but you kind of know, but you really know. But yeah, just to see the familiar faces coming back through, like I said, the borders opening back up really gives us a good pump because Canada's back in the house.
Yep.
I've had many customers from when I was selling bikes to bartending over the years to selling sticks. That is really, really nice to be able to see those guys come back in. So we welcome them with open arms.
It is just a little sidetrack, but one of the stories of how I ended up here, right? Because I bought my house in 2016.
Okay.
I didn't get out of the Navy till 2018. My wife moved out in 2017. So we were back in Washington State, Whidbey Island. I'm in the Navy doing my stuff and sitting there, and we got into a discussion. Basically, I wanted to get a fucking boat and everybody, I'm out.
Yep.
And she gets
doesn't sound like you at all.
no, she gets seasick just looking at a fucking boat. I mean, I had a little 35-foot boat I lived on for several years before I met her.
But you'd be really good with a tranquilizer dart gun after a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sat there and she just looked at it and no. So we had a minor discussion about this. Anyway, I'm like, all right, what do you want? What do you want? She goes, I want a historic house. I don't care where. And I'm like, okay. Jump on Google. I mean, literally, she had work night shifts, so she was going to bed, and I'm sitting there pissed off. So I'm like, all right, fuck the boat. Look at fucking here.
How about a really old boat?
Yeah, I tried that. It didn't work. The Chris Craft didn't fly. I gave it a fucking shot. Anyway, so I mean, I'm flipping through. Looked. I like I like Western towns anyway, but I like history to begin with. But
sure.
Anything that I was looking for particular states that didn't have like income tax and stupid shit like that to rip off what's left of my 22 years I worked on.
Right.
So I actually got some money. Yeah, that kind of thing. So
that should be our new state slogan: less stupid shit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, meth, we're on it. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Let's just keep rolling with it.
Yeah, I mean, shit. The worst slogan ever that did the best thing ever because it made national attention and I loved it. But anyway, that's a side story.
Don't forget about don't jerk and drive.
Don't jerk and drive. That's a good one. But
it's in my eye. Keep going.
So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at Virginia City, Nevada. I'm looking at Tombstone, Arizona. I'm looking at
Dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, no shit.
pun intended.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Cripple Creek, friggin' the other place in Colorado, Wallace, Idaho. I was looking at these different places. And I'm like, all right, well, this house thing is a pile of shit. They want half of them. No. So I turn around finally, eventually. I'm like, where'd Wild Bill die? He got shot in some fucking podunk town. Where was that? Oh, look it up. Oh, Deadwood. All right, cool. No shit. Found the house. Woke her ass up. What do you think about this? Just shoved the damn phone in her face. She's trying to put her glasses on. I'm like, here. Ooh, that's cool. I'm like, cool. Called up, worked, made sure I could get off a week and a half. Called the realtor. I said, all right, those are all the cool pictures. Where's the shitty ones that you didn't put online? Because I'm driving 1,200 miles to go look at this thing.
Yeah.
And sure as shit, I come out here, looked at it, looked at a couple other houses. I'm like, yeah, my wife would shoot me if I lived way up on top of this hill right here. Yeah, it's like this. But it's Deadwood. We're in a gulch.
Right.
Or a holler if you're from the south.
Holler.
So anyway, and next thing you know, I put down money, and here I am. I've never stepped foot in Deadwood ever in my life until I came out here.
No shit, huh?
Yeah. My wife went through here when she was a young kid, probably 10 or 12. And I never stepped foot in Deadwood. And as soon as I got into town, I was at the hotel right in town, right there, where the Syndicate building was, or what the hotel is now.
Yeah.
And staying there, and I'm like looking out the windows. I'm like, this place is pretty cool. There's all kinds of shit going on, and just I like this place. Next thing you know, you put the house. It's like, yep, we like it. We're here.
Nice.
Basically, I just say the party comes to us.
Right. Yeah.
We don't have to go anywhere, really. I mean,
pretty much.
There's so much different variety for every genre of person.
Yeah. I have a really similar story to that. Actually, no, it's completely different. But I was growing up, so a little bit of history for me. I don't know why, because, time filler. But we, for a time, lived in Lemon, South Dakota, which is about 2.5 hours north of here.
Is that lemon or lemon?
No, it's Lemon.
Lemon, okay.
Just named after Colonel Lemon.
The things that jump off the cliffs?
Yeah. Not lemming. No. Lemon. L-E-M-M-O-N. Anyways,
yes.
So anytime that we had this big to-do, we'd always have to come down to the hills. You either go to Aberdeen, South Dakota, or you go down to Rapid City. And no offense to Aberdeen, but you are the armpit of South Dakota. Always have been, always will be.
We just lost 50 customers. Anyway, next.
So we would always come down to Rapid. Series of events. My dad was a PA, and he got a new family practice across the state. Moved East River, forever known as an East River boy now. If you know, you know. So I'd always wanted to get back to the hills, and just kind of coincided. I was behind the bar for years and years and years, and this is going to sound really ridiculous, but wanted to be a bartender in Deadwood because I love the historical value of Deadwood. So just had the right timing, whatever. Moved out here about 10 years ago. Finally got my job bartending in Deadwood after 9 years of being out here. But there is a certain draw to this town that brings people here, and I know I bitch about the housing situation, but fuck, man, if I was looking, I'd want to be here too.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful place. It's got this natural energy to it. It draws people in, and a lot of the people don't want to leave. So I can't really fault it. But yes, what a magical place that we live in.
A lot of the people that come here, they'll come here for a weekend, right? The ones that drive out here usually, they'll come out, we're just out here for the weekend. I'm like, oh man, you need to come back and spend a week.
Yeah.
Literally. Just in Deadwood alone. I mean, between the interpretive signs, all the trails, all the things you could do.
Right.
I mean, you could spend a month out here, but I mean, just a week to get to know Deadwood.
Yep. Yeah.
The other stuff in Deadwood, not just the gambling and the drinking and carrying on all that. It's, it's all part of what it is. But there's so much more. The museums, the different places you can go and wander around and see. Yeah. And then a lot of them do. They come back and like, we took your advice, man. We came back for a whole week. And I'm like, oh, cool. Welcome. Get a cigar.
Thanks.
Go pick a stick and shut up.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I do a little bit of informal, hey, what is there to do besides, whatever. And I'm like, oh, have you been up to the cemetery? Have you been over to Adam's house? Have you been over to the museum? You've been over to here. You've been over there.
Yep.
And I steer them different directions that they're looking to go. Yeah.
Well, when we bought our bar a little over 3 years ago, we had our ribbon cutting, and the chamber came out, and a number of dignitaries and that type of thing. And then we'd been in town for 7 years before we did that. So been here about a decade, and we did the ribbon cutting. And I don't remember who it was. Someone said to me, "Hey, congratulations! Only 25 more years, and you'll be a local."
Yeah,
but it's not true. That may be the joke, but it's really an embracing town. We welcome people to come in and contribute. We absolutely want people who will do events and do fundraising and things like that. And my favorite time before I had a business in town, when we lived here in town and I worked out of town, which is the opposite, as Mayor Dave said, of most people.
Right.
My favorite time was when we get an unexpected snow in like a Tuesday in February.
Right.
You know, we get 18 inches and we weren't expecting it. You can't go anywhere, even though our city does a great job with snow removal. There's a little bit of time where you're stuck. Well, we just put on our snow boots and we all hiked downtown to the number 10. And, you know, they may or may not have power. And it was one of my first introductions to the family that owns the 10. We go down there and they've got a couple of lights on, not much, must have a generator or something. Everything is shut down. The POS system doesn't work. And they're like, all right, if you're a local, just write down what you're drinking and you can come pay us later. If you're not a local, exact change only.
Exactly.
And you got to pay right now.
Right.
And we just got smashed at 10:30 in the morning.
Did you have to have like 4 people verify that you were a townie?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and that's the kind of community that we have. Obviously, we do a number of other things. There are lots of charity fundraisers. We really take care of people in our community and the neighboring communities. But that's one of the magical things, other than the great tourism that we have and the wonderful people who come in and spend their money and allow us to have our lifestyles and have our historic houses and things like that are really very, very helpful to what we want to do. But it's a very warm town, and I don't know if that always gets explained when we talk about events, because the events are so huge, like monster. You know, bring in thousands of people. But in the a little bit of a time when we're slower, you know, it's awesome to have a place where everyone is welcome and everyone is invited to participate.
Yeah, we're the Cheers of South Dakota.
Pretty much.
Where everybody knows your name.
Yep. Right, Bob. Good job.
Yeah. We had I had a couple come through from England or from the Netherlands, and it's really interesting to me that when they book their vacations, they have to put how many nights they're spent, because they're going across the whole U.S.
Right.
You know, they're taking 2 months. They have to say, okay, we're going to be here for this long. We're going to be here for this long. Those poor sons of bitches spent 5 days in Sioux Falls and then came out here for 2 days, and they were like, "Oh my God,
Wrong choice."
up.
when we come back, we are going to spend at least a week here, because this is the most beautiful and accepting and just downright I don't know, wholesome town that we've been. Well, I don't know about wholesome. Sorry, but I'm gonna reel the wholesome back. But anyways, they were just they were enamored with the town, and I hope I get to see them again. They were a lovely couple, but. It's just kind of funny that, you know, you don't think that you're going to have that much fun in a town of 1,200 people that's, you know, sitting in a valley in the middle of a mountain. But
well, that's a better story than the Scottish lady that took her camera and took a picture up my kilt to make sure I had a kilt on. So, I mean,
we need to start the kilt cam.
that's coming.
Yeah.
Kilt cam will be that will not be on YouTube. That will be on Pornhub or something, or one of those places. I don't know.
Just 45 minutes of bubblegum.
Yeah, it's not good.
So what were we talking about? Off the rails? I mean, it just might have been there.
I knew it was going to go a little off the rails, but it's always fun.
It just jumped one car. We're all right.
Which is hysterical, because what people don't know is that since the mayor and I are both regulars at the shop, this is kind of what happens.
Yeah, this is just a normal
at
day.
DTC. This is kind of a normal day. There's a lot of ball busting and a lot of fun, and we met some great Canadians the last couple of times we've been down there. And there was a big Belgian group that came in, and it's
opening
pretty
back
awesome.
up. It's feeling more and more open every time.
Yep. You know what they said to me when they came in? They said, we're really excited about the Deadwood Live concert series, and we really want to go to deadwoodlive.com and buy our tickets.
Excellent.
you
I'm
go.
sure they said that exact thing.
Exact thing.
pretty
Were you
much
holding up the card? You were
Crazy
like,
how they go.
maybe.
Yeah, read this.
like a hostage situation?
pretty much.
You read this into the camera, you can leave.
Blink twice if you're in trouble.
I've got a boss too, so I got to do my job.
We get it. We all get it.
But
What
anyway,
were you going to say?
Oh, hey.
Back there.
Randy, you were talking about the bar that had people scoring what they drank.
Yeah, the 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Pierce, you've been in the industry forever.
Yeah.
The expression, mind your P's and Q's.
Yes. That actually.
Pints and quarts, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that actually comes from, long ass time ago, mind your pints and quarts. So when they would go and get their rations for the day, mind your pints and quarts meant don't get too fucked up and start fights and stuff. So old ass saying, yeah.
Yep.
I do have one more thing. We mentioned Deadwood history, kind of all the stuff that just made Deadwood what it is, the history of it and everything. Maybe some people have seen the Deadwood series and the characters. And what's interesting about the characters, man, I lived in a city of almost 1 million people for 20 years and then moved out here. And I felt like with 1 million people, you would think you would have more personalities. I've never met people with more personalities
Yes.
than when I came to Deadwood. Right? You have people that are
And continue to,
fascinating, completely off the grid. Like, when was the last time that you were in a civilized area at all? Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, you got Swearingen, you got Wild Bill Hickok, you got Poker Alice, Calamity Jane, all of these amazing personalities. And I was in a conversation with somebody, and Wild Bill's photo came up.
Mm-hmm. We have our very own.
Right. So I got a little question, man. Here's the next slide.
Yeah.
Which person on our staff most resembles Wild Bill?
I got my answer.
Well, yeah. Well,
It's tough, right?
well, you and I aren't in there. Handsome Pierce. So
No,
we're not.
no,
we're
we're
not
not.
options.
That's that cowboy with the TIE fighter on his neck. The eyes and the mustache are two different things here.
Right. Yeah. Because obviously, Stash is matching fairly well with the example you have shown there.
Like, is this a write-in? Is this a plug for somebody to email us?
No. I mean, sure.
Yeah. Tell us what you think out there
Yeah.
in Etherland.
Yep. I mean, you guys might want to pick the other Wild Bill since he signs the checks, but maybe not. I'm going to go with.
Look at those beady little eyes, though.
I know. He does have the beady
Like, you
eyes.
shave down that angry gnome, and he's gonna look.
Yeah.
He's gonna look like Wild Bill.
The one time he doesn't come to the podcast, we just shit all over him.
The one
Well,
time
we do that all the time.
That was
do.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You should hear how Consuela gets treated on here, and she's never here.
She was one time.
true.
Yeah,
That's
one
true.
time, and then
I
she
mean-
wouldn't shut up, so we had to get her out.
I mean, does
Bird would have been more quiet.
Yeah.
Grimes lose points for being the FNG or no?
Nah, it's just a general.
No,
It's just a general account.
Just a
We
general
don't
thing.
care.
All right.
But it's the beady little eyes. It's the smoky eyes. I know Wild Bill was going like blind, so maybe that's the reason why the squinty's going
It's
on.
possible.
That's why I got trifocals on that picture, because I am blind.
So if you took the trifocals off, it might be
Yeah.
Stash the whole way.
could be indeed. All right.
You look
Right.
more like Mr. Wu.
Yeah, I know, pretty much.
Are we taking a poll with the viewers and listeners of the podcast? And
Yeah.
that'd be awesome. All right. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna withhold judgment until I see the results, and then I'm gonna join the winning team. That's
That is so Randy.
that's my style.
How's that hockey game going over there?
Make no waves.
How's that hockey game going right now?
Oh, you interrupted him. He had to look up.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's awesome.
Shit. Anyways, you can find us, especially our product, at www.deadwoodtobacco.com. Give us a call or go on there. If you need any flavor profile help, go ahead and give us a call, 605-722-1510. Otherwise, all the products are available on there. Also, give Consuela a call, 605-722-1510. Say hello and hang up.
She
Breathe
loves
heavy.
it.
Just do something
Yeah.
and hang up.
Bigger the
Just-
pervert you are, the more she enjoys it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, keep it with yeah. Hell, I might get lucky that night.
Did you guys say my name tonight?
No.
No, what the hell are you talking about? We never talk about you. Really?
Otherwise, you can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Pinterest. Yep.
All those wonderful places.
Yes.
all these-
That's the Facebook one. That's the Instagram one. I was pointing the wrong direction. And the Twitter one is not up there because I don't even see the Twitter.
It's a bot. Most of them are bots. I figured that out. Well, at least
well.
Elon Musk did, but that's
Yeah.
besides the point.
Right.
Pretty much.
They're disappearing as we go.
Yes.
Anyways, thank you for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Handsome Pierce with Stash, with Randy,
Peace out.
with the mayor. Everybody have a good night.
And
Thank you
easy.
so much for tuning in. Peace.